Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Injustice Gods Among Us video. Now, the topic of this video has to do with all Injustice characters that have secret useful abilities as well as hidden effectiveness with certain characters. Our first topic of the day is Wonder Woman along with power generation, which will allow her to build up those level 3 specials even quicker. So we're about to start a battle here, and as you can see, we have 40% power generation, so we're just going to sit here and block. As you can see, 3 blocks almost give Wonder Woman 1 bar of power. 8 blocks give 2 bars of power. And 12 blocks will fill her at 3 bars. So we're going to use a Justice Javelin. As you can see, you can just sit there and block all day and unload special after special after special. And you really only need Wonder Woman at Elite 5 to do this. If you have a level 1, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, the power generation is ridiculous. And getting a special blocking a cat scratch is very good. So with these little tactics, Wonder Woman becomes even more annoying if you have these 2 cards. Because power generation is ridiculous. And who better to give it to than Wonder Woman, who gets a ridiculous amount of power by pretty much just sitting there and blocking. So that is my first useful character. And now if you take Wonder Woman along with Green Lantern and pair them with Nightwing, you get another grade of annoyance because Nightwing is the king of power drain. As you can see, he's beating Harley Quinn to the first bar, and already at 2 bars, and power draining. Basically just sit there and whittle away. As you can see, Harley Quinn is at 1 bar, and this is Nightwing's second power drain. And he's already at 1 bar again. So by using these power drain techniques, as you can see, Harley Quinn is about to go down, and she did not even get 1 special off. And it's very effective even at higher levels, and obviously the more promotions you have on Nightwing, the better. And there's a cartwheel. However, Nightwing is at 1 bar. We'll get off the power drain just to be annoying. As you can see, we again beat Harley Quinn to the first bar. And I've also used it without Red Sun Wonder Woman, and Nightwing can continuously beat people to their bar of power. So very helpful tactic there. And Nightwing is a tough son of a bitch. Probably one of the most durable silver cards as long as they don't get special moves off. And now for our next test, we are going to use Lobo, who is immune to power drain. And there aren't many times where I can say Lobo is a useful card. However, when it comes to dealing with power drain, Lobo is definitely the main man because you don't have to worry about your power getting sucked away. So we're going to start this fight against both Nightwings. And it's pretty academic. You don't really have to worry about a whole lot. So first ground spark is blocked. No power is drained. And Nightwing is in. We're going to get off a main man. Softening up Nightwing. This might prompt the bronze Nightwing to come back in. 7,483 damage. And ground spark for 798 does not drain any power, as Jeanette gives me a thumbs up, liking my ideas for the video. So another ground sparks for 296. We're going to get off a hook charge. And we do get up to 200% on that. We do get some blocks off. And my Nightwing is at 2 bars. As Jeanette's sending me stickers. And Nightwing is caught in a combo and will be knocked out. There we go. Now we just got this Nightwing to deal with. Now I don't like Lobo for the simple fact that he is a slow character. However, if you're having trouble, the immunity to power drain will definitely help you build up power for your other cards. And there's two more interesting wild cards. We're going to use Batgirl with Arkham Origins Batman. We're actually going to put him in the front. And we're going to have Aquaman, even though this is probably not the right fight to do that on. We're going to do a couple fights with this and show off some extra usefulness. As you can see, Arkham Origins Batman starts the fight at 3 bars. So if you use Batgirl with Arkham Origins Batman, especially if you have him at Elite 5, which unfortunately I don't, you can pretty much wipe somebody out before they even get into the fight, and that is huge. As we can see, we're at 1.5 bars. We're just going to let him beat on Aquaman a bit, and hopefully he doesn't use a special, which he probably will. No, he does not. So as you can see, Cyborg is at 1 2/3 bars. And this also applies to all characters tagged out on the other team. And this is really good if you're not capable of doing a lot of damage. As you can see, Cyborg has no power. And Batgirl's ability is always useful because you start off with 1 bar of power. And that really gets things rolling. So having that extra bar of power is definitely helpful. Because as you can see, Arkham Origins Batman is at 2 bars. And he's going to wipe out Cyborg. So, as you can see, Aquaman is useful for power drain. However, Batgirl and Arkham Origins Batman can do a lot of damage together. And there are some other useful wild cards. What we have here is Batman, and he's a fairly durable card, so this might not work the greatest. Next we have Lex Luthor, and while he's not the best card, he does have 2 side uses. He has Power Drain, and his most useful ability, Lex Luthor and his teammates gain 15% increased damage, and we do have a promotion, which I forgot to use. So we're going to go give him that promotion. And the reason Batman is good is Tactical Genius, Batman and his teammates deal 25% more damage, and Zod, Phantom Zone Survivor, for every teammate that is knocked out, General Zod receives 20% bonus to all damage and 20% bonus to health. And we're going to get a fight going. We're actually going to put in Zod first, because for demonstration purposes, we're going to have Zod get a special off on the Flash, and then he's going to get a special off on the Flash later. So we're going to have him take some hits. And actually, we're going to have him do a little damage too, because we don't want him getting too low. So we're going to soften up the Flash a little bit. The Flash does tag out, and I didn't want that right away. Lightning kick for about 2,000 damage. So we're going to get off Zod's special move right away. And you can kind of see the damage ramp up when Zod has at 3 bars with 2 teammates gone. So right now, 8,918 damage, almost KOs that Flash. We're just going to let Batman get beat up now. Because we really can't test out Zod's special move with 2 teammates active. So this might take a little while for Batman to go down because he has over 14,000 life. But we need to have him knocked out as well as Lex Luthor. Well, we're probably going to have Lex Luthor knock out the Flash before we deal with the other Flash, because the other Flash almost has no life. And as you can see, Zod is currently at 2 bars, so this will probably work out perfectly. And it's taken quite a while to knock Batman out. In a normal fight, this wouldn't even matter. It's just taken a long time for Batman to go down. Finally, Batman goes down. We're going to get off the coordinates received on the Flash. And if we don't get rid of him, we will get rid of him shortly after. And yes, he is knocked out. So we're going to let Lex Luthor die. And power kick. And now we're going to get off a Galactic Destruction. And we're going to see how much more damage Zod actually does. Even though it's not fair that we didn't use him meleeing as well to get results. As you can see, 12,842 damage, which is a 40% increase, as Hell's Infernal Rage comments on Google+. So as you can see, a 40% increase, and obviously with promotions, it'll do over 90,000 damage, so that is a very useful one. And my next test will be Insurgency Batman, along with Green Arrow. And we're going to put in Red Sun Wonder Woman to make power generation a little bit easier.
Wonder Woman.
Because we can. And going up against two Solid Grundys, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with Insurgency Batman, because we need to get him up to 2 bars. And then I will demonstrate how this combination works. As you can see, Insurgency Batman is up to 1 bar. Cleaver Spin barely touches his life bar. Now we're going to get Green Arrow in. We're going to get a little bit of power up on him in case Solomon Grundy blocks, which is very possible. However, through a combo, it's really easy to unload on him. There's a Cleaver Spin for 601. And there we go, as he was in the middle of a combo. So now we're going to get... Actually, it didn't freeze in there. We're just going to kick away at him. And Cleaver Spin for 865. I thought that it would freeze, but maybe it's a chance to freeze. But we're going to let Green Arrow stay in for a moment. Hopefully not take too much damage. So now we're going to try to freeze Solomon Grundy. There was a block. And mid-combo we fire away. And now he's frozen, so we're going to get in Insurgency Batman, who's going to get off a lunge kick. As you can see, 12,848 damage, which is some nice damage. And now we're just going to say goodbye, Solomon Grundy. And goodbye, Solomon Grundy. So there's the victory. And you saw that the lunge kick did over 12,000 damage frozen. How much damage does it do without a freeze? We will find out. If it's anywhere between 7,000 and 9,000 damage, that obviously works. As you can see, max damage 8,412, so that freeze double damage will allow you to get even more bang for your buck with Insurgency Batman, and it really works out good together. So for those of you who say Green Arrow sucks, and the majority of the time I do think he sucks, there are uses for him, so try that out. And for our next test, we're going to use Regime Aquaman with Catwoman. And we're also going to put in Arkham Harley Quinn to give a little bit of a health bonus. Now basically how this works, and I really hate doing this with Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor is annoying as hell. Main thing here is Catwoman normally is a garbage, fairly useless card. However, she does do more damage when opponents are bleeding. And I don't know if it's basic attacks or all attacks. We're going to get off a spear. And Trident Toss is going to go off. So bleeding and increased damage versus enemies suffering from bleeding. I should have got 2 bars so I could test that out even more. So we're actually going to get Arkham Harley Quinn in for a moment. And Pop Pop goes off for 1509, which doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. So we're just going to whittle away at Lex Luthor. But the main advantage for Catwoman is that she does more damage against bleeding opponents. And I know that Bronze Catwoman's level 2 does a lot of damage. So as soon as Lex Luthor starts bleeding, which hopefully will be soon, once Catwoman hits 2 bars, another Lance Blast. Keep in mind the other Lex Luthor will probably tag out soon, and that's the Lex Luthor we want to wipe out. So we're going to try to whittle this Lex Luthor down. And another Lance Blast on Aquaman. So we're beating down on Lex Luthor. So this Lex Luthor does a gravity pull for 1629. And we're just going to go Lance Blast, Power Drain. We're going to use a Trident Toss, which will get blocked. And we're going to use another Trident Toss. If you kill somebody and they're bleeding, the effect will continue, so definitely something to keep in mind. And we're going to get Aquaman up to 1 bar, as he shouldn't tag out. But we're probably still going to have to deal a power drain. No, we're not. However, we do get a block. So very situational use for Catwoman. And we're actually going to try Cat Claws, as that is blocked, unfortunately. As you can see, not very good to use Catwoman like this. However, she does have some uses. And we're going to get off another Cat Claws just for shits and giggles. And that one does go off. As you can see, she is bleeding for like 90-something damage. Now it's hitting for 148. Now, I'm not sure if the damage stacks, and it didn't look like it. So, as you can see, very situational as far as Catwoman goes. I don't recommend that tactic. However, if you use Aquaman and Catwoman's level 2 ability, you might get some decent results out of that. So, definitely worth a try there. And I won't do too many tests with that. Lance Blast, as Harley Quinn barely hangs on by a thread. However, she's going to get knocked out. And Aquaman is going to spear Lex Luthor into the ground for the victory. Now for this next fight, we're going to keep Doomsday in. Or actually, we're going to keep Arkham Harley Quinn in. Because Arkham Harley Quinn gives Doomsday a 25% health bonus. And I think one of the Green Arrows does too. It might be... No. Green Lantern. No. Not that one.
Green Lantern.
New 52, Green Lantern gives teammates a 5% increase to their maximum health. If you have Silver Lex Luthor, which I do not have, you will get much better results because that's a 50% increase to health, which is better than Solomon Grundy. Much more useful characters, however, only 30% potential health with 2 Red Sun characters. And if Doomsday is your main go-to guy, we're going to take that on purpose. As you can see, 2,113 damage, barely touching Doomsday's bar. And obviously, the more health you have, the more you will get when you knock somebody out. So we're going to get a level 3 off on Sinestro. Which hits for 68.73. Doomsday takes that for 15.19. No big deal, as he still has quite a bit of health. 19.44. So my guess is that Doomsday has between 12 and 13,000 health right now. And Fear Blast Power Drain, which doesn't drain a whole lot. So now we've got Ultimate Liftoff, which is blocked for 1,008. Another Death from Above for 585. And now is when Doomsday is going to make his comeback. There's the knockout, so now he's over half life again. Death from Above for 1489. And 1671. So that 50% health that he gets back is a significant help. And we're going to get off Earthshake and say goodbye to Sinestro. 5,331 damage, so that 50% health, when you have plus health characters, it's really situational whether you want to go for more damage to kill easier or if you want to have more overall health. However, more health is never a bad thing. And using Arkham Harley Quinn and Green Lantern or Silver Lex Luthor is not a bad idea at all. And another interesting thing to note is that Insurgency Harley Quinn is one of the worst silver cards. However, her passive is one of the more useful ones, which deals 10% more damage for teammates. And another useful one, we're going to bring up Prison Superman with the same lineup. We're going to let Super Health tick off so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like. And keep in mind, this is another ability where plus health is a big benefit, as it also benefits Doomsday as well. And to a lesser degree, it also benefits Zack. because if his teammates are knocked out, he also gets an increase in both health and damage. So it's something to keep in mind whether you want to go for defense or offense. And usually offense wins, but there are situations where having health will win you fights. We're going to get Superman built up to 3 bars. 3-0 for 539 block. So we're almost at 3 bars with Prison Superman. We're going to get off a Kryptonian Smash, and this should put Green Arrow at about 1/2 to 2/5 life. So it does put him at half life. We're hoping he does not use a Hurricane Bow. Superman is not at super health yet. There it is. So we're going to get off a Flying Punch. Keep in mind when you're doing specials, that will not tick away. But it's a nice little buffer for health. As you can see, he survived that Hurricane Bow where normally he would have died. So super health is very useful, and Harley Quinn can finish off Green Arrow. As I get savings from Amazon customer service, which is probably 3 cents. And there are a couple more points that I do want to get across. The next one of utter importance, we're going to use Batman, Bronze Harley Quinn, and we're going to use Insurgency Joker just for shits and giggles, who has the most damage and health. And we're going to do a fight. With this combination, the Joker gets 50% more damage. So you can see heavy attack for 526. And even block does 131 damage. I'm going to fire a bang, which blocked. Still almost hits for 3,000 damage. And we're going to work toward the Let's Be Serious. For demonstration purposes, we're actually going to take that lead rain. And we're going to get off the Let's Be Serious, and let's see how much damage it does. 21,695 damage with 2 promotions in this setup. And now we're going to take our damage dealers out. We're actually going to put both Banes in. And now we're going to see the damage difference with New 52 Flash and Regime Flash. As you can see, heavy attacks now hit for 337, which is a significant decrease. However, it still does a lot of damage. And we're going to get a bang for 1231. That one did significantly less, but I only did 133% damage. So now we're going to get to another Let's Be Serious. And the Joker can take quite a bit of damage. These fights are very trivial for a 2-times promoted card. Lightning Kick hits, and Joker's barely at half-life. So now for this Let's Be Serious, we'll see if that's enough to finish off the Flash, or if we're just going to have to punch him down. 13,885 damage, a significant drop when you use a bronze card with Batman. And if you don't have Batman, you can also use bronze Lex Luthor. However, Batman and bronze Lex Luthor is your best bet when you're using Zod. And my next point I want to get across is a rather interesting character. We're going to use Red Sun Deathstroke. We're going to use Red Sun Superman. And we're going to use Red Sun Solomon Grundy. Oops.
Deathstroke.
And in the next fight, we're going to replace Superman with the Flash.
Begin.
As you can see, Superman with a heavy attack blocks 1632. And 816 on a normal attack. And this is the best lineup for overall damage. However, you can replace Solomon Grundy with somebody like Batman and get the same results and potentially get a more useful card than Solomon Grundy. However, his health bonus is very helpful. We're actually going to start punching away. As you can see, Superman's Kryptonian Smash will do a massive amount of damage. Especially since he gets 75% damage with basic attacks. And 38,478 damage. I do not have his special maxed out, obviously. As Deathstroke hits 30. And another thing that comes to mind is the Flash. The interesting thing about the Flash is he's one of the only characters that performs better using exclusively his heavy attack versus the light attack.
Begin.
And we're going to demonstrate that in our final demonstration. Then you can see 190 damage on a heavy attack. On a light attack, he hits 95 and he hits slower with a force punch for 143 as a knockdown. So as you can see, this is one of the rare occasions other than the Joker where using heavy attacks is more beneficial than light attacks. And you also get the added benefit of 25% speed, even though it doesn't really seem to do anything. So we're going to get off a speed zone, and Deathstroke will be at very low life. And I actually do have one more demonstration, and I will do it after this video. Full auto, and the Flash is knocked out. However, Solomon Grundy is going to eat Deathstroke alive for breakfast. And he's going to eat Deathstroke up for breakfast. But as you can see, the Flash is one of the more damaging silver cards. So, if you have him, in some instances, he can replace a gold card. Just don't let him take too much damage. And for our next demonstration, we're actually going to go into Battle 40. We're going to have Silver Black Adam and Gold Black Adam. And for goofing around and insurance purposes, we're going to have Red Sun Superman in. Now the main advantage for Black Adam, and we're on a countdown, so I don't know how long we can actually mess around with this, but the main advantage for Black Adam, 50% damage reflection with a lightning shield. However, Gold Black Adam gets 75%. And you obviously want to use this on special moves versus single attack, so Catwoman's 2-bar ability, and only works for 3 attacks, so being able to rotate it out definitely makes a benefit. It only works for 3 attacks, so we're going to get Black Adam in. That lightning strike doesn't really do any damage. But if you manage to connect on a special move with Black Adam shield, and it's also a combo breaker, so if somebody hits that shield, unless it's a combo, they're going to just eat right through it and die. So now we got Bane in, we're going to get Black Adam in, and he probably won't be able to take too many hits. Rage Slam, so Red Sun Superman is in. And we're going to get Black Adam back in. Venom Uppercut for 11,000 damage, however 8,000 went back to Bane. So as you can see, sometimes offensively is better than defensively. And Cat Scratch for about 4,000 damage. So we're going to get Superman in to just wipe people out. And a Man of Steel, Catwoman is out. Bane is almost knocked out. And you cannot kill somebody with that shield damage. However, a top Adam, and this demonstration is over. As I don't feel there are any more useful cards except for Cyborg's power generation when sitting out. However, There aren't better cards to use than Cyborg. However, that is a viable option if you have 5 promotions with some power generation. And we're going to see if Green Lantern and Red Sun Wonder Woman have. We can make a demonstration. We're going to go back into Battle 36 shortly.
Cyborg.
We're actually just going to have. This will probably work just fine. So we're going to leave Cyborg and Green Lantern out, and we're going to see how long it takes for Green Lantern and Cyborg to hit 3 bars. Wonder Woman can hold her own for quite a while. As you can see, Lex Luthor is at 1 bar, Cyborg is at 1 bar, and the opponent is not at 1 bar, however Green Lantern is. Now Cyborg is at 2 bars, the teammates are at 1 bar. Wonder Woman's at 2 bars. We're going to get rid of somebody here. So Lex Luthor is knocked out. Nightwing comes in. We're going to get off Cyborg's target lock and put a dent in Nightwing's health. $5,165. This Nightwing has decent health. So we're going to get Wonder Woman back in. As you can see, Sinestro is at 2 bars. Ground Sparks for 702. Green Lantern's at 3 bars. We're actually going to unload on Nightwing here. So if you have a fully promoted Cyborg with a maxed out special, he can be situationally useful. Definitely above 724. This is Bronze Sinestro, so he's not going to have much health. 1 shot knocks him out. Cyborg does have some uses. As you can see, he's pretty close to 3 bars. So we're going to get him in for a target lock, and I don't know if this is enough to knock out Nightwing. However, he should be fairly close. 5,165 damage, and this concludes our usefulness with characters when you think that they're not that useful. And if you like this little demonstration, which is about 33 minutes long, showing off side effects for a lot of special characters and how you can use them to your advantage, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Injustice Gods Among Us videos, my playlist, Facebook and Twitter, which are both HollywoodShono. And looking forward to doing more videos as well as farming credits and my roster. Have a wonderful day, kids.